Mao Zedong and China's Cultural Revolution. 1949, the revolution in China, led by Mao Zedong, the communists have triumphed in a civil war against nationalists. For more than 25 years, Mao Zedong governed one-fourth of the population in the world, China, and he converted this in one of the most powerful countries around the world. People used to say he was much more like Stalin than as Hitler, but he was responsible for more number of deaths than both of them. Mao heard about the Communist Revolution in Russia, and later, Mao became a revolutionary Marxist and member from the Chinese Communist Party. He began making bigger his group, and lots of people were influenced by him. Mao started to explode his popularity, and sooner he was loved by lots of people. Later, Mao Zedong's communist government model was based in Marx's theory, who proposed the basis from the communists, the same that Lenin and Stalin started to follow for their government, even though at the end it was applied differently than the original idea from the Marx theory. Later, the Japanese invasion in China made it possible for Mao to get more honors and to receive bigger popular support. 3 years after, Japan and China were involved in the Second World War, and China received the support from the United States. At the end of the war, thanks to the North American support, the communists were stronger. In 1949, after a series of battles against the government troops, the warforce of Mao invaded the country and entered the capital, Beijing. The rural revolution had triumphed, and USA had helped one of the most important communists in the world. Mao was 55 years old, and he was the biggest leader of guerrilla warfare of the 20th century. On October 1st, from 1949, on the Tiananmen Square of Beijing, Mao Zedong proclaimed the birth of the popular Chinese Republic, and this supposed the end of 30 years of civil war. Everybody started to see him as some kind of a god. Later, Mao threw the campaign to stop to bloom 100 flowers with the belief of expressing critics of the people, but it did not go out as he expected. Big cartels appeared and were criticizing the Communist Party. After a little time, Mao would bring down cruelly those that they dared to criticize. Mao began to destroy families and happened of being a communist leader to a bloody dictator. Later, Mao seeks to raise the previous spirit and crosses the country, realizing the industry and the hard-working army of China. It sought to advance England in 50 years, and it achieved a great jump in proof, where enormous growth of the production existed. But later, in the winter of 1959, one presented the Great Famine in the country, in which up to cannibalism it was given, and 40 million persons starved. Mao was left offside, and for the first time in 25 years, Mao once saw occupying a secondary place on the government, and it will happen next year, planning his return to the power. Several years happened from then, and then people were adoring it. They loved him, and at the end of the 60s, more than 1 million persons had been murdered or imprisoned by the Red Army, but finally the opponents of Mao had been revoked of the power. He sought to restore the order. The Red Army became dislocated, and after years of chaos, he was now trying to liberate China of his isolation with regard to the world. He reestablished contact with the US in 1972. At 83 years old, Mao dies and China was desolated. Nevertheless, he died as one of the major criminals of the history, and at the same time, he was a genius and a monster. Thank you so much for your attention. My team: Fer Quiroz, Laura Alfaro, Rey David, Liz Martinez, and me.